Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And I had to start with this. U.S. Supreme Court rejects $4.4 billion in Silk Road Bitcoin case. The top court denied hearing Battleborn Investments' claim to 69,370 Bitcoin seized from Silk Road, paving the way for the government to sell. And I said this may coincide with the HBO documentary on Bitcoin. I think the U.S. is definitely going to start selling off that Bitcoin, no matter what the Bitcoin maxis want to believe. Because think about it, why would the government want to hold on to this? They figure that Bitcoin is not going to be part of the new financial system, and they also see it as a threat to the US dollar. And it always brings me back to this right here. Take a listen.
BTC is too energy intensive. It will not survive the New World Order.
1% of global energy consumption is Bitcoin mining. That is a holy shit moment, in my opinion. Like, you know, you talk about, you know, the green protesters, and you're like, you look at what people are doing with Bitcoin mining, and to me, it makes no sense at all. Now, I can't take any credit for this because this predates my involvement with Ripple, but the early engineers who developed the XRP ledger, they saw this problem coming.
And it's going to be a problem going into the future. Think about carbon credits. You're going to have to buy so many carbon credits just to mine one Bitcoin. And that's what's going to be the end of Bitcoin, is the advancement of technology. As we keep pushing into the future, this going green agenda, even though I think it's bullshit, is not going to go away. It's going to be with us into the future. And I always said, if I can enrich myself off of it, I'm going to. Stablecoin transaction volume is projected to triple from $4 trillion to over $12 trillion over the next 6 to 12 months as regulated stablecoins become mainstream. So they're expecting a massive surge on regulated stablecoins over the next 6 to 12 months. And that's why I said, the launch of Ripple's new RLUSD is definitely going to add a lot of value to XRP. The October 2024 World Economic Forum document on digital asset regulation highlights key contributors shaping the future of regulatory clarity across jurisdictions. Notable names from the crypto space featured as contributors include Ripple, Stellar, Hedera, Casper, and Avalanche. The winners of this crypto cycle will be those compliant with regulation, as they are poised to see the most value and growth. You know, in that previous video I did, I said it's going to be a hard road for XRP to reach 3 digits in this upcoming cycle. But imagine if they get crypto regulations in place during this cycle happening. That could easily push some of these cryptocurrencies to numbers that we could only dream about. Because once you get crypto regulations, that's going to lead to massive amounts of institutional adoption. And I believe that is also on track to happen by the end of this year. Crypto regulations in the United States. Development of the new ISO 222 message definitions. Ripple, Rockefeller, Gates Foundation. And they've been working together on this ISO 222 for a long time. It goes all the way back before 2020. The project is managed by Moduloop Foundation, which was launched in early 2020. Its members include central banks, financial services, and technology companies such as Google, Coil, and Ripple, and philanthropies such as Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the Rockefeller Foundation. The Moduloop Foundation and its community also advances financial inclusion by shaping international standards and innovations. For example, through a research partnership with the Monetary Authority of Singapore on central bank digital currencies. Look at how big Ripple and XRP is in Singapore right now. This was all planned out years ago. And there's other ties that go beyond Modulloop as well. Look at the BIS and the IMF, how they're working with Ripple and Stellar. And they've been for a long period of time now. That's why all these rails that we're seeing, they're all somehow tied to either Ripple or Stellar. Banks optimistic on meeting ISO 222 deadline, but challenges remain. Reports the banker, quote, "The new transaction format requires an overhaul of many major banks' legacy systems." So they're saying that only 26.4% are ready, and the rest are lagging behind. It's hilarious when the unresearched blames SWIFT for delays and fees, when it's the edge banks that haven't kept their systems up to date. That is the problem. 1 year out from mandatory ISO 222, and only 26% of banks are ready and expect SWIFT to continue carrying their legacy empty messages indefinitely. And you think there's going to be an orderly transition of the GFS to blockchain without using SWIFT CCIP sometime in the next 20 years. Here's what's going to happen. The BIS is not slowing down for anyone. The BIS even said if SWIFT wants to continue to drag their feet, they will push ahead without SWIFT. They could care less if SWIFT is involved at all. And then you start to look at the BRICS. They're pushing away from SWIFT. They're ready for a new system. That's why the BIS went and met with China and these other countries and put them on the path to mBridge, which also utilizes RippleNet and XRP. So whether or not these banks are ready, nobody cares but SWIFT. SWIFT should be the one that cares the most, because if the banks aren't ready, then all of a sudden the BIS, they're just going to go live with a whole new system. And that could possibly happen. I'm convinced somebody upstairs gave the green light. We are go for launch. Archax, Asset Terra partner to offer tokenized real-world assets in UK and Europe. So all of a sudden, Archax got the green light for real-world assets overseas, not here in the United States. So is tokenization going to start there, start from the east and come to the west? Is that what we are going to see happen? And this coincides with this right here. ECB exec calls to embrace DLT tokenization to improve Europe's fragmented capital markets. Again, we know who the ECB works with. They're working with Ripple as well. Even Christine Lagarde has talked about XRP multiple times in the past. So does this coincide with what's going on with Archax? We will soon find out. The U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technology has released a draft update to its digital ID guidelines for federal organizations. The update includes new security methods like passkeys and mobile driver's licenses, and considers facial recognition. It aims to enhance fraud protection while ensuring equitable access to digital services. Final version expected by 2025. Digital ID is not going away. In fact, it's starting to gain momentum. And look who's pushing for digital ID as well. The elites, people like Bill Gates, always throwing money at digital ID. Because your whole life will be tied to a digital ID. You will be a one world citizen. Kuwait prepares to lock out bank customers who do not use fingerprint ID. A new directive from Kuwait's Ministry of Interior requires banks to freeze customer accounts if they do not register their fingerprint ID with the government. At the end of September, the government said that about 100,000 Kuwaiti citizens and 800,000 foreigners were yet to hand over their fingerprints. Failure to comply with the directive will also result in bank cards being frozen and in-person cash withdrawals being suspended. Like I told you, what do they do when they want you to do what they want you to do? They shut off your money. Because once they shut off your money, you're screwed. How are you ever going to buy anything? How can you feed yourself without money? And again, this is going to eventually lead to a digital ID. It starts out with just your fingerprint. Later, all of a sudden, you got a KYC. They want to make sure you're not doing any money laundering, things like that. Then it will lead to a digital ID. In a recent press junket, Ripple partner Qatar National Bank called out RippleNet, used for cross-border remittance, as part of their award-winning approach. Think about that. You know, Ripple's always winning awards for cross-border payments. But even partners of Ripple, other partners that are working with Ripple, utilizing the technology, they're also winning awards all the time. Because what we're holding is the technology of the future. What you're holding makes cross-border payments possible. That's why when you look at the price of XRP right now, it really is irrelevant compared to where XRP is going. Jamie Dimon says JP Morgan has added 1,000 artificial intelligence workers. So it looks like JP Morgan is getting ready to lay off 1,000 humans. That's the way I look at that. But remember, Jamie Dimon said we have to slow down AI. You can't have AI advancing. AI is going to take a lot of jobs, and we need to really slow it down. And at the same time, JP Morgan is adding 1,000 artificial intelligence workers. They always tell you one thing, but they're always doing something else. And that's why I always said, most of what we see is distraction. They want to keep you distracted from what's really going on. So think about it. What else is JP Morgan pushing right now? What is Jamie Dimon pushing? Bitcoin. Same thing with BlackRock, pushing Bitcoin. Same thing with the mainstream media news, pushing Bitcoin. Why? Because Bitcoin is the distraction. You are holding the disruption. Bitcoin is not going to change the financial system. XRP is going to disrupt the financial system. RippleNet technology is going to change cross-border payments forever. Bitcoin's not going to change it. And that's why they want you putting your money into Bitcoin. They don't want you investing into XRP. But it's going to be absolutely game-changing as we start to push into the future. Wait until Archax starts bringing all those tokenized assets onto the XRP ledger. They're also going to bring a lot of assets to Hedera as well. Franklin Templeton is going to continue to bring a lot of tokenized assets to Stellar, because these are the technologies of the future. You know, they want to bring them onto networks that can pass regulations. Once crypto regulations come, that's going to be it. You're either holding XRP or you just got left behind. And until it happens, you got to stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.